Hey everyone, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming, the channel where we talk about all things video games, and Sonic the Hedgehog, due to popular demand, friends. So of course, today we're diving into a list series that you guys all adore, the Top 10 Sonic Easter Eggs. Our last two parts featured some great hidden, and some wonderfully obvious, Easter eggs within the franchise's games, but this time around we'll be focusing on Sonic Easter eggs that appear outside of the Sonic games. Let's dive in. And at number 10, Christmas Nights. Nights was a game series initially developed by Sonic Team at Sega. This spin-off, known as Christmas Nights, is a holiday-themed 3D game, and significantly shorter than its predecessor. But it's loaded with additional unlockable content, including the ability to play as Sonic. Sonic is one of the unlockable presents in the game, and you can play a whole level as him, including a boss battle with Dr. Eggman dressed as Santa. It's also noteworthy for being the first 3D game in which Sonic appears in, and is a playable character. And at number 9, VIRTUA Fighter 2. In one of the more subtle Sonic Easter eggs, VIRTUA Fighter 2, another Sega game, features a bit of Sonic graffiti in one of its backdrops. An arcade game that was released in 1994 and later ported into home consoles, if players chose to fight as Jackie Brandt or Sarah Brandt, a hidden stage called Chicago is revealed. And in the background after the fight finishes, depending on how your camera is angled, you can see a brick wall with some Sonic graffiti on it. The tradition of featuring Sonic Easter eggs carried through to other VIRTUA games in later years too. And at number 8, SENNA'S Super Monaco Grand Prix 2. Ayrton Senna was a Formula 1 champion who had won the race more times than any other driver, so of course Sega teamed up with him to push out a Formula 1 racing game with his endorsement. He even gave the development team advice concerning the design of the tracks in the game. Considering making fast games is one of the talents in Sega's wheelhouse, popping in a little Easter egg of one of their other world-renowned speedy characters made perfect sense. So how does one find Sonic in this game? Enter World Championship mode. Start a new game on the Master difficulty level, and select a rival. Sonic then appears running along the cars racing by on the next screen, and while the other vehicles all come to a stop, he keeps running. The whole moment lasts for just under a second. Up next, number 7, Daytona USA. In one of our last lists, we mentioned that there is a Daytona USA Easter egg in Sonic Mania in the Studiopolis zone. This comes after a long history of the Sega game featuring Sonic as an Easter egg in their own series. Once in the 1993 Daytona USA game, in which Sonic appears carved in a stone mountain while on the 3-7 Speedway course. And at number 6, Bugs Bunny Double Trouble. A game developed for the Genesis and Game Gear, Bugs Bunny Double Trouble was a 1996 Looney Tunes game where you played as Bugs Bunny. In the first two levels, there's a special item that you can acquire called Speedy Shoes that allow Bugs to move faster. They also vaguely look like an inverted pair of Sonic's famous shoes. While you may be thinking that's a bit of a stretch, if you look at what the shoes are doing before you pick them up, you may notice a large similarity. One of the shoes is tapping, in a similar motion to what Sonic does when you leave him still during the original Genesis games. And at number 5, Crusader of CENTY. Expanding into a larger Sonic appearance here, the 1994 RPG Sega Genesis game Crusader of CENTY was Sega's attempt to combat the sales of Nintendo's Legend of Zelda. It featured a protagonist who, throughout the duration of the game, gains the ability to talk to animals. After this occurs, if you go to a location called Anemone Beach, you can find Sonic lounging on a lawn chair. If you speak to him, he says, "Tisk tisk, I'm a gallant hedgehog. Don't mess or you'll get burnt." This appears in both the English and Japanese versions of the game. Up next, number 4, Borderlands the pre-sequel. Sonic the Hedgehog? Kind of. So there's a kraken known as the Fuperphonic Kraken in this game. In an area within Serenity's Waste, there's a section where a bunch of krakens jump out of lava and attack you. One of those krakens is an electrically charged one that spin dashes at you, and once you defeat it, money drops from it in a similar fashion to the way that Sonic's rings pop out of him. And at number 3, Deus Ex Mankind Divided. The and Knuckles meme has made its round in the video game industry, with plenty of and Knuckles Easter eggs and references, even in Sonic games themselves. The Deus Ex franchise got in on the fun with its Mankind Divided 2016 game, which is set in the year 2029. There's a shop that you can check out called Tech Noir, and has a video game system called Soloto for sale on a shelf, alongside a video game called Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles. Cute. In our number 2 spot, Goat Simulator. Goat Simulator is filled with comedic genius, and the game is chock full of Easter eggs referencing films, music, and video games alike. The Waste of Space and MMORPG simulators are parodies of entire genres, and they make for some hilarious gameplay experiences. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that Goat Simulator has its own Sonic Easter egg, in the form of one of its mutators. In the game, you can unlock various mutations that change your goat's appearance or abilities. The one called Blue Streak essentially turns you into a goat version of Sonic, in which you turn blue and can perform a speed dash, just like everyone's favorite hedgehog. And unlike other mutators, it's one of the mutations that comes with the game to begin with, so you can get your Sonic on right off the bat. And finally, in our number 1 spot, Radmobile. Ending off this list is the first appearance of Sonic the Hedgehog, which surprisingly didn't happen in a Sonic title. Rather, the blue hedgehog first appeared in a 1991 Sega game called Rad Mobile, released shortly before his first game. It was an arcade racing game in which the blue blur appears as an air freshener inside the car that you are operating. He just hangs there, twirling around on a little chain. In addition to this, the Saturn version of the game actually features other characters as air fresheners too. Alright, there we have it, friends. Which of these Easter eggs have you found? Would you like us to do a list devoted to Sonic cameos? Let us know in those comments below. If you dug this video, please show us some love by hitting that like button. And if you're new, why not hang out with us some more and subscribe? In the meantime, thanks for watching. I've been Kelly Pally and this has been Top 10 Gaming. Catch you all in the next one.